Welcome to another episode of the Read Pile. I've got a short stack of stuff here. I think only 2 of these were actually on my pull list, and then I grabbed some others off the rack. Things that I had tried and wasn't keen enough to add to my pull list. Ultimate Invasion was one of those. I wasn't the biggest fan of issue 1. I don't know. The most interesting happened at the end, which is again referenced here. It's the conversation between 2 Reeds. So the Maker and 616 Reed, which erased me from existence. Yes. That hasn't been followed up upon yet, but issue 1 ends with the Maker plucking a spider off Peter Parker's shoulder before it bites him, and issue 2 starts with, where is it? So, he has been busy. You'll probably recognize some of these names, and if you look at this column, you'll see what's up. Most interesting, I find, is Rogers. So, he attempts to find Captain America, and he's not where he's supposed to be. So, I feel like that's going to lead to this Reed's downfall, is whatever is going on with Reed. Somehow, but this is it's certainly an alternate dimension, but you can see there. But he has altered history so that the Marvel Universe that we know, and even the Ultimate Universe that we know, is not how we remember it. It's this new world, and we get a sort of tour. It also seems to be a bit in the past. This is Howard Stark. There is Tony, but he seems young. Maybe a teenager? Oh, he's there. So I guess you can't really tell age from that. In my mind, though, he seems young. So it feels like this is in the past, even though it's kind of the present. Marvel's weird. Anyway, we get sort of a tour of his adjusted universe, what he's been up to, and then we get some action of this happening. So all of that coming to fight him, to stop him. I like the inclusion of Vision, because I don't remember there being an Ultimate Vision. I don't know, my memory's probably bad, but I mean the rest of these recognizably early versions of, I guess there's no Iron Man. That's curious. I wonder what that means. Anyway, this was a better issue, I think, than issue 1, and it still sets things up. I'll probably wind up getting issue 3. This is only a 4-issue series, so probably I'll wind up getting, but I'm more interested in the next series that follows this. I can't remember the name of it, Ultimate something, but whatever. It's coming out in October, I think. This is something, for sure. Up next we have Firepower issue 25, and it's been quite a while since Firepower issue 24. Thankfully, it's recapped well enough. You get a slight previously there. Look, giant effing dragon comes out and like kicks the shit out of every character that we know, is basically what has happened. There's talk here at the end, whenever they start interviewing each other. This is Somni. It doesn't seem like, I mean, he's been talking about how he doesn't like doing these for many issues, but it's still interesting. I only read his responses, not the Kirkman stuff. Kirkman talks for longer, but I find Somni's answers more interesting. Anyway, issue 25. There's a dragon. There's training. There's kung fu stuff. There's Nike shoes. It's kind of the same old Firepower that we knew, except now Chicago is f***ed. So I was flipping earlier. It's very clearly Chicago getting taken out by a giant wave manufactured by a dragon diving into, I suppose, Lake Michigan, and then we've got repercussions here. So pretty insane stuff. I keep accidentally flipping to the last page, which I'm trying not to show, but anyway, the co-creator, co-interview style stuff at the back is interesting. I do recommend reading this as well, and it's good. it's probably going, we're probably, I'm assuming, getting an arc's worth on a monthly basis, and then it's going on hiatus again. I don't know how much he's built up ahead of time, but I'm enjoying that Firepower is back. Wild's End issue 2. So issue 1, I honestly feel like this should have been combined with issue 1 and a little bit cut from both to make a new issue 1. I don't know. This is much better than issue 1. Issue 1 was character setup and sort of that's all it was, character setup. And then a twist happens at the end, only for the characters, not for the audience, which is always weird. I was just talking about that as far as Mission Impossible, where Tom Cruise is biking up a mountain, and anyone that's seen the trailer knows what's going to happen, but he doesn't yet, and it's a nice moment. And the rest of the time, I kind of feel like, in this specifically, the audience knows it's aliens. No one in the story knows that it's aliens, and I'm like, just get to the aliens. So issue 2 gets to some aliens, but there's a bunch of personal stuff that's happening. At first, the group breaks up. They all decide that they want to go different ways, and it's a lot of that before we get to these light post alien things. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting issue 3. This is of 6. I don't know. My wife did comment that she's cute, so there's that. In Hell We Fight, issue 2. I also wasn't a big fan of issue 1. I feel like this should have been issue 1. It's a much stronger start, except there's a character, there's an element of the story that would need setting up. I just feel like an entire issue to set that one thing up is not worth it. Wasn't worth it. Anyway, this, as I said, is a much stronger start to what should have been the story. Anyway, I don't know if I'm getting issue 3 of this either. It's a better issue than issue 1. I just don't know if I'm invested enough in the story or the characters to keep going. I'm looking for stuff. I'm looking for books in weeks where my pull list is small. So my pull list this week was 2 books. I grabbed some stuff off the rack. I'm not overly invested in any of it, and I don't know. I'm going to have the same issue in 3 weeks where my pull list is going to be small because it's going to be the same schedule, and I don't know that I'm getting issue 3 for some of this stuff. So this is one of those. It's... I don't know. I think Layman's done better. I'm comparing present John Layman against previous John Layman, and I just know that he can do better than this. I don't know. I don't know. You've Been Cancelled, issue 2. And this is great. This was on my pull list. Highly entertaining. Story progression, action. It's exactly what it needed to be. It, I don't think, is getting pick of the week, but we've got some... have fun with that. And it's all around great. I'm very curious if... So he busts into a house at one point, and I don't... It seems to be... At first it seemed like he was in the wrong place, but it seems like he is in the right place, and I don't know what that means or how or why, but I'm curious to see what develops with that. It cuts off before we can get any further with it, but it's really good stuff. Really, really good. I'm very much enjoying this. So it's going to be weird when this doesn't get pick of the week. Spoilers. Lastly, for books that I picked up this week is the extremely disappointing Castle Full of Blackbirds. This is a Hellboy tie-in book, and I was very much looking forward to this. It will not be getting a separate video because I just don't think I have 5 minutes worth of material to talk about this. It would be straight up non-stop complaints, except for this very nice cover. The cover is honestly the best part about the entire thing. The story is a continuation that started here. I enjoyed this. I was looking forward to this. the return and continuation of a character's storyline, and then it's just bad. So I'm not a big fan of the art, but I could have gotten past that if the writing were better, but the writing is also not good. The basic story of this girl attending a new school is middling at best, and it's told in a way that doesn't help anything. There's a weird insertion of like flashbacks. There are scenes that start but don't go anywhere, and it's not good. It's not a great story that is badly told, and the art doesn't help anything. It also sets itself up for a sequel that I will not be getting if it's the same creative team. If these people are involved, really, I think these two. If these two people are involved, I'm not getting whatever the sequel is. If it's somebody else, maybe, with caution. But avoid this. I think this is the worst Hellboy-related book that I've read, and is going straight in the to-go pile. Avoid this. So that's everything that I got this week. However, I've also been reading Transformers. Wilson of Shaka Toy Reviews has let me borrow some of his classic Transformers. This is stuff straight out of the 80s. Look at that. So I'm having fun with this. I think this is helping me make a decision about what to do with my single issues. It was the reason. It's a long story. Anyway, this is something. It's very 80s, but I'm like, oh yeah, I had that toy, and that one, I remember that guy. That might be the highlight, not the story or the characters. Although it does make me wonder, like, is Michael Bay Optimus a dick because he was based on the 80s comics? He's kind of a dick back in the 80s. Like, holy cow. Why is Optimus Prime the leader? He's bad. Seemingly bad at everything. So, that's what I got this week. Pick of the week is actually going to Firepower. It's helped because it's a double issue, double-sized. But as far as action and emotional content and just art as well, it is definitely top book. You've Been Cancelled is a close second. It's just more pages got this over the top. So that is everything that I got this week. As always, I get all of my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.